Next on Newsmax Prime, a deadly train crash last night in Philly. We'll have an update. Plus, your efforts helped Sister Diana testify on Capitol Hill today. Coming up, we'll meet a man who says that the Christian genocide in the Mideast started long before ISIS. Then, to put it diplomatically, a major surprise. The Vatican officially recognizes the Palestinian state. Ambassador Ray Flynn reacts. It's Wednesday, May 13th, and Newsmax Prime starts right now. Welcome into Newsmax Prime for this Wednesday evening. I'm J.D. Hayworth. Thank you for spending part of your valuable time with us. Several stories of prime interest tonight. Sister Diana, the Catholic nun from Iraq, who you helped to get a visa, testified before a congressional committee this morning during a hearing on religious persecution in the Mideast. More on her testimony later. But first, to the derailment last night of that Amtrak train in Philadelphia. NTSB officials have now confirmed the train was traveling at double its speed limit, surpassing 100 miles an hour. The black boxes have been recovered, have been taken to Amtrak's Operations Center in Maryland, where officials hope to get a better picture of what actually happened. All day long, you have been treated to rampant speculation from other media outlets. We will spare you that, but we will offer some historical context on train travel in the age of Amtrak a bit later in our program. Now, to stories of other prime interest. The Vatican has officially recognized Palestine as a state. In a new treaty, the Vatican makes it clear the Holy See will in fact establish diplomatic relations with the Palestinians. According to our parent website, Newsmax.com, the treaty is the first legal and official diplomatic recognition between the Holy See and the Palestinians. But how will this affect the peace process? Joining us now from Newsmax Washington, we are pleased to welcome in the former mayor of Boston and the former ambassador to the Holy See for the United States, Ray Flynn. Ray, as we see you tonight, we thank you in honor of your first appearance on Newsmax Prime to see you so formally attired. You're looking good, Ray.
I'm speaking at an embassy from Italy to the United States, and we're dedicating or moving forward with the first National Catholic Museum in the United States. And I have the privilege of introducing Archbishop Vincenzo Paglia from the Vatican and your friend, former Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Jim Nicholson. Both will be receiving awards tonight. I will present that to him, and it's a great honor.
Well, that is good news for two outstanding gentlemen. And of course, Ray, I just thought you got dressed up for us. But all kidding aside, this news from the Holy See today, it has to be described as a diplomatic bombshell, does it not?
Well, J.D., you've been around a long time, and I have too. You know, with all the power of the United Nations and the international community, with all their money and their influence and military and power and whatever, they haven't been able to do much of a job in the Middle East in bringing stability and peace to that particular community, have they? And all the efforts have been made by presidents and a number of world leaders. But now Pope Francis has decided that he is, through humility and through truth, is going to try to move this peace process forward in the Middle East. And you know, I don't know if it's going to work, J.D. I don't know if it's going to be successful. But I'll tell you, it finally brings a level of hope to the Middle East. And I think, you know, people are going to complain about it. Some people will. Not everybody's going to be happy about it. But in the final analysis, what it really does, it puts the moral persuasion of the Holy Father, but also the Catholic Church in all religious leaders. All religious leaders will say, will embrace this recognition of the diplomatic relations with the Palestine. Now, J.D., one last thing. When I was United States ambassador to the Vatican, one of the first things that we worked on was having diplomatic relations between the Vatican and the State of Israel. That had a very positive, important effect when that happened. So hopefully, diplomatic relations between the Vatican and Palestine will also have a powerful, important effect in bringing peace and stability to the Middle East.
Ray, what do you imagine the reaction is in Tel Aviv tonight?
Well, I think there's going to be great apprehension, uncertainty, obviously, and that's legitimate. That's the way it should be, because they have a job. Israel has to protect their vital interest, and that is the security of its people, which they live in a very hostile neighborhood. But no effort has been successful, J.D. Not the United Nations, not the international community with all its money and its power, and nobody is able to be able to put this piece together. And here it is, a simple priest who runs on humility and the power of truth has been able to do things that no other world leader has been able to do. And so I give him a lot of credit for this attempt. But at the same time, I know that this is an uphill fight. And so nobody should be disillusioned in thinking, you know, we're on the road to peace. But it's a great first step.
So this move, 100% Pope Francis?
Yeah, this is him. This is Cardinal Bergoglione that I've known for a long time. This is where he comes from. This is what his character is. He's rooted in humility. He's rooted in truth. He's not looking to win the Nobel Peace Prize for bringing people together, although he probably will win the Nobel Peace Prize if this thing succeeds. But by the same token, this is who he is. Look what he's doing in Cuba. You may disagree with it, but he also is a strong voice in the encouragement of the United States in Cuba. Look what he did with the genocide in Armenia. I've been involved in that recognition, trying to recognize the genocide in Armenia since when it's going back when I was first in the legislature. And, you know, he was the first person to have the courage to say this was genocide and move the ball forward. Here he is doing it again. He's not trained as a diplomat, but boy, oh boy, I wish I knew what he ate for breakfast every day, because he's probably the best diplomat I've ever seen.
Well, we know scripturally, we shall know the truth and the truth shall set us free. But one of the realities of the Middle East is the fact that the Palestinians refuse to recognize Israel. In fact, are sworn to Israel's destruction. Now, mindful of genocide, historically speaking, for the Pope to step in here, that is going to lead to, I would believe, some strong concerns in Israel tonight.
It should, and it will. There's no doubt about it. We shouldn't be naive about it. But everything else that has been tried by the international community, by the United Nations, what has it led to? Violence, war, bloodshed. Nothing has moved the ball down the field. This is the first, in my opinion, this is the very first effort. It's a profile in courage, as far as I'm concerned, that will try to recognize not only Palestine, but also hopefully recognize that there has to be a peaceful coexistence between Palestine and Israel. I know both communities very well. I've been there. I know it. I think that's possible. And if it's possible, there's one person that I think that can do it. I think it's Pope Francis.
And before we let you go, Ray, 30 seconds. We were pleased to try to get pressure on Capitol Hill and the White House. Sister Diana got her visa. She testified in the House today about what's going on in Iraq. Your reaction to Sister Diana coming to the U.S.? 20 seconds.
I think that was absolutely powerful, and congratulations to all the effort that were made by folks like yourself, J.D., and Newsmax. I know what was going on because we had a similar effort in Boston with Mother Olga, also an Iraq nun, and we've had her on television. I've talked to her many times. Let's keep this thing going. The truth shall set you free.
Amen to that. Ray Flynn, we thank you for your time. We'll talk to you again soon. There's more ahead.